Welcome back to Red Devils Talk, everyone. Our preview to the Manchester Derby is here. I am your host, Session, and of course, all things Manchester United here on the channel. Subscribe, drop a like, it will definitely help the video out, and of course, help me wanting to grow this channel and reach every Manchester United supporter that we can. Before we speak about the Manchester Derby and everything that it entails, let me just tell you something that has broken out. Eddie Ten Hag has been voted and has won Premier League Manager of the Month for September, and that in itself is something to be proud about. Our manager that has just started his Manchester United career and has already shown that he has qualities to take us back to the top. Being Premier League Manager of the Month, he has shown his quality with 4 wins in a row, and of course, that wonderful performances against Liverpool and Arsenal. Now, Manchester City, our rivals, the team that has set the bar for us to reach the top level of English football once again. They have their history, more recent history. They don't have the rich history that we have, but they are a team that has set the bar, as I said, and Pep Guardiola and his Blues have shown quality since the beginning of the season and is the team to beat and does look the team that will probably win the Premier League this year. Now, of course, us coming into this particular Manchester derby with confidence, with players that have shown quality and improvement in their performances. The back five alone, De Gea, Malacia, Martinez, Varane, and Delo. Of course, the five of them have come back fit from their international duties respectively and have each performed well. Of course, De Gea was not called up for Spain, but of course had good quality training back at Carrington and of course at home. And he finds himself in a position with a quality defensive line that he can depend upon, that he can trust. And in that sense, we could look to get something out of the game against City on Sunday. Now, of course, Ten Hag will have his own plans ahead of the game, but we ourselves might be short in an attacking sense, with Rashford and Martial reported to not have trained this entire week and could potentially miss out on the game on Sunday. Martial now looks to be a injury-prone player for us. Can we depend on him for the rest of the season? Maybe if he comes back fit and he stays fit for a consistent period of time. Of course, we know the World Cup is also ever closer. So this next couple of weeks is going to be relentless with performances in terms of games day in, day out. And we have to ensure that we have players fit and ready to deliver. Players that can perform to the way Ten Hag wants them to perform. And how do we find ourselves in that position? Is by ensuring that our players are fit. Now, myself, I don't necessarily think that they will be playing on Sunday. It's kind of impossible to not have trained an entire week and then look to train a day before the time with Ten Hag, as per Samuel Lockhurst, saying that they will train a late training session tomorrow for any players who want to still sort out any fitness issues. Will Rashford and Martial be fit to play? No. If they start, it will be a miracle. If they are on the bench, perhaps that will be a positive for us, but we'd rather have them starting, of course. Now we look at Ronaldo potentially starting up front, but his international break with Portugal was somewhat 50-50, with the first game him getting himself an assist, and in the second game completely being frustrated and looking like the Ronaldo we saw at Manchester United this season, missing chances, showing his frustration, not able to be clinical up front as we know he can be. Now, whether that has got to do with fitness, whether that has got to do with his mentality and not getting a move away, which is what he wanted, we have to understand that Ronaldo is Ronaldo and will perform when a big game arises. Now, with Rashford and Martial rumored to not have trained and, of course, not being able to be fit for Sunday, Ronaldo will be starting. And that might be a disadvantage to us with the way we would want to set up and play against Manchester City. We know that Pep Guardiola will use his possession style football. We know that he will try and press us high because we will try and play out from the back, but we won't have an outlet to sprint in behind If Ronaldo is starting, he can play as a target man. Yes, he can be a fox in the box and score goals. But if we are not able to progress the ball forward to him to play the crosses into the box, then he can be no threat. Of course, Haaland gives City both options, a run in behind and able to hold up and link up play. Now, Martinez has shown his quality against Haaland already in the Champions League last season, coming out with a clean sheet and a 4-0 win. It is different opposition. Haaland is playing with better teammates, more quality teammates in a De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, etc. And they can find him easily. They can find him with an eye of the needle pass. And it's not to say that Haaland will be destroyed by Martinez overrun, but they definitely won't find it as easy to score, in my opinion. Martinez surely will not allow him to have the freedom that he desires to run or to bully someone off the ball. Martinez likes a fight. We've seen it since he started playing. We've seen it since he's had Varane as a partner. His confidence has grown and he has shown that he can deal with any Premier League centre-back. Haaland now being that benchmark that he will test himself against on Sunday. And I believe that we might stifle him. I believe that we can get a result at the Etihad. I do believe that City is vulnerable and can be got at. But we have to be clinical when we get chances. Whoever plays up front, whether it is Anthony with Sancho on the left and Ronaldo up front, or Ilanga on the left, Ronaldo and Anthony, or Sancho on the right, Anthony on the left, and Ronaldo up front, whoever plays up front for us needs to take their chances and be clinical. I do believe for myself that if we have the same confidence we've had in previous games, we can win. City have shown to be vulnerable to conceding goals. They have shown that they can look a bit shaky in the beginning of games. And that in itself should be a positive to us. If we start well, if we hassle them from the first minute, we could potentially get a result. With the defense that we have, that have shown that they are capable of keeping clean sheets, we should be able to perhaps work hard enough to get a clean sheet against City. City will try and score. They will push us to with our backs against the wall, as they say. But we can win. That's a fact. And with players that we do have, the likes of Anthony can potentially be a goal threat, can be good in a one-on-one against a Cancelo, against a Kyle Walker. Whoever, Sergio Gomez, who they recently bought to play left back, Sancho, we know, can do well one-on-one, has showed calmness in moments of pressure to finish well. So we have the players to go at City and win, and we also have the players to defend well. It just comes down to how we approach the game. Does Ten Hag want to play out from the back like he normally does and wants to game in, game out? Or does he go long and look to play counter-attack football to counter City? It's going to be interesting because, and as you can see in the thumbnail, I said Ten Hag surprise. We might sit here and discuss any type of tactics that Ten Hag might want to use on Sunday. We know how City is going to play. Pep has never hidden his style of football or his tactics for anyone. And I don't think he would have any other tactic other than keep possession of the ball, press high, and give the ball to Haaland when he's in the box and when he makes a run. I don't think there's any other blueprint he would work from. And that in itself leaves us with an advantage because we know how they are going to play. There can't be any surprises because we know their players, we know the quality of their players, and I'm sure that the gear, Malacia, Martinez, Varane, and Delo have done their homework. I'm sure they've put, shall I say, their minds to finding out what it is exactly they can work on to ensure that they stifle City's attack. My opinion personally, I do believe we can win. And if we have to win, and with us wanting to win, myself, as I said personally, the starting 11 needs to be, and as I've said before, that back five remains the same. You cannot change that. You cannot bring in Maguire for no reason. Yes, he's the captain of the club and etc. And we heard the comments that he said that if he plays for City, he'd be better. Yes, that's all crap and trash, fair. But we're not going to bring him into the team. Ten Hag's not starting him for Manchester United ever again in the Premier League. unless there's an injury, unless he wants to rest someone. That I can guarantee you. Ten Hag doesn't see Maguire as good enough to play for Manchester United. So this could be his last season at the club. But as I said, in my predicted starting 11, the back five has to remain the same with De Gea, Varane and Martinez, and of course Malacia and Delo. Now, the midfield trio that I want to focus on is key to how we will approach this game. We know that Guardiola will go with, of course, sorry, I just can't get to his name now. Rodri and De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, he will go with in midfield. That's a fact. Whether if he starts Gundogan, in my opinion, that would leave their midfield weaker. I think that it has to and probably will be Rodri, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. My opinion, I would want Casemiro to start. Casemiro has to start, in my opinion. But based on form, based on rhythm, and the way the team has gelled thus far, I believe McTominay will start in midfield with Eriksen and Bruno playing in the number 10 role. I don't think he would change the midfield three that has shown a good performance when they have played together. Second half, we might see Casemiro come on. But I do believe that it will be McTominay, Eriksen, and Bruno. And for me personally, I'd have Sancho on the left, Anthony on the right, and Ronaldo up front. If Martial was fit, I would start with Martial. If Rashford was fit, I'd still put him on the bench, in my opinion, to come on in the second half. I don't think he would start ahead of Martial as a number 9, and Anthony leaves Sancho with a bit of a problem on the right-hand side. Therefore, he has to compete with Rashford on the left, and he, in my opinion, would start ahead of Rashford on form. Rashford would want to start as a striker based on the goals that he scored. But as I said, De Gea, Malacia, Martinez, Varane, Delo, McTominay, Eriksen, and Bruno, and of course, Sancho on the left, Ronaldo up front, and Anthony on the right. That can be the team to go and give City a game. We can win at the Etihad. I believe we can. We have the confidence. We have the quality. It is just the type of tactics that Erik ten Hag will set up with. And I do believe that he will set up with good tactics to make us competitive and give us chances to win the game. The defense will sort themselves out. They will know that they will want a clean sheet, and they will know that they will want to defend well to stifle City. Of course, as I said in the beginning of the video, Ten Hag has been voted Manager of the Month for September, and that in itself is absolutely fantastic. Guys, thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the video if you haven't done so. I always speak about all things Manchester United. Enjoy the Manchester derby. I am your host, Session. Till we speak again, bye-bye, Red Devils.